I'm Gabriel Bassett, and oh, I forgot the hat. Oh well, so maybe it won't be a Halloween stream. Um, we are going to code various data today. Um, our goal here is to take structured data, or excuse me, unstructured data from news articles and such about breaches, and turn it into structured data. We have those issues, the news articles and stuff captured as issues in the various community database repo, and I've got a bunch assigned to me. I'm behind because I was out all last week. And so we're going to go through these and try to turn them from a news article into structured data in the various format. So let's see, what do we have on top? Juliet tax preparation business. Oh, I think I did this one yesterday. I could have sworn I closed this one. Okay, so we're going to close this one out because we coded it yesterday. And we'll go, which is a quick way to get rid of them. We'll go to the next one. Security breach at Grindr reveals user's exact location. Okie dokie. Let's see. Discovered by blog Queer Europe. After 5 years of controversies, in contrast to what Grindr claims, it is still possible to obtain the exact location of millions of cruising men on Grindr. It is also possible to collect their body type and a lot of other information. To protect the community, Grindr needs to step up its game. When an acquaintance told me, so what is the actual issue here? So told me that he had built a computer program to locate Grindr users on an interactive map. I thought he had hacked something. However, soon I learned that anyone can do the same within a few minutes without any coding experience, because Grindr measures the distance between yourself and other users. It's relatively easy to let a computer virtually approach these users from different sides while calculating their exact location. So basically, it triangulates. It changes the user's location and triangulates. So this is going to be an interesting one because it's going to be an abuse of functionality. So size mapping community is also possible to search for the location of an individual user if you have no idea where the user is at the moment, because you can put yourself anywhere and eventually get close to them. Okay, so I'm just going to assume this is generally this address. This is actually an interesting one to code up because we don't get a lot of these kind of abusive functionalities. So this seems to be confirmed. I mean, there's screenshots and all. September, we put in the 2019 corpus, September of 2018, and GitHub issue. Let's see. Here we are, 12.2.25. Let's see. Okay. Reference is, I mean, we'll put this in here, but it's really the blog that's the reference. It has the details. Put in here, and then I'll put it back in here. Summary. Grindr doesn't limit user location, allowing triangulation of users through forged locations. Okay, confidence. There's an app for it, so timeline. We don't exactly know when, but we know that this was written about in September of 2018, so we'll just use that. It doesn't say how long it took him to, like the time it took to build the app would be the some hereby distance toward call on the API. I mean, see, I wonder how long it took his friend to build the thing. To do so, our public line giving anyone access to virtual map. You can travel from place to place, city. Exact location of 600 use per request. Seconds. Blah, blah, blah. Compromise in this case was, let's say it took him at least hours to build the app. Exfiltration happens in seconds or minutes. Let's say seconds for local. Discovery. Well, it was disclosed. So let's say weeks and containment. Let's see if there's any information, if Grindr did something about it. Okay, Security Flying exposes TechCrunch talked about it. Did Grindr respond? Update Grindr has offered a statement. Quote, we cannot emphasize that we strongly recommend against our users sharing their personal login information with these websites as they risk exposing information. Location, all information transits between users, device, and their servers is encrypted. I'm just a little unclear. Did they not bother saying, did they do anything about it? They ruled exposing their own profile. We deliberately obfuscate the location-based features of our application to protect our users. That doesn't seem to be helping. I don't think it's clear that they changed anything. Okay. Containment. Never. I mean, I don't think that they did anything to modify. It doesn't sound like they modified the API to fix this. So, okay. Notification didn't really happen to users. So victim ID is Grindr. I wonder how many employees Grindr has. That's not how you spell Grindr. Grindr. Number of employees. 260. Yeah, not a lot. Industry. They are going to be my new favorite industry. I need to fix this link. Oh, I see. That is probably the reason this doesn't open up. So this link is supposed to open up in a new window, and it doesn't, but it looks like the link has an issue with it again in the web app, so I can go back and fix that after the stream. And so what is it? It's data processing, hosting, and related services. I really like this one for technology companies. It's affected one. I don't really affect. I'm not going to put. Well, locations affected. That's a good question. I guess the asset involved is only in one location, servers, but I'm not really sure where those servers are, and I'm not going to go into it. So I'm going to, but I mean, they're a U.S. company, right? So company information, or maybe they're, yeah, California. Well, we'll say United States. But they're probably, the servers are probably distributed, but like the concept that it's one web app. So USCA, I'll add the region back in here. Okay, secondary, no. Victim information, action. So this is going to be misuse by unapproved workaround or shortcut, I think, because you have legitimate access to the API, but you make use of, well, it's privilege abuse actually. You know, you have the ability to use the API, but you are misusing. It's not an unapproved workaround. Like what you're trying to do is legitimate, but you're doing it in a wrong way. A non-approved workaround would be like emailing sensitive information to your personal computer, or to your personal email to get work done at home. And since this is for an intentionally wrong thing. This is non-corporate facilities or networks. This would be abuse of the privilege to call the Grindr API. This is used to exfiltrate data. So we'll close that. This is, interestingly, misuse by an external, we'll say customer. For the purposes of fun, curiosity, and such. So here we go. I got my hat. There. Now it's Halloween stream. Okay. So, fun, curiosity, or pride. Country. Who is the person that built this? The one in the breach? Because this article came from Doha Port, though that probably is not where. I mean, it says Europe, but it doesn't really give any details about the writer or where he was. Let's see. Maybe there's information about who this writer is. Netherlands, Amsterdam. So, what is Netherlands? It's not in, is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to look up there. UN 40. Nope. Here. In L. Oh, did I pass it? I didn't think that they were. Yep, I did pass it. And then the Netherlands should be in Northern Europe. I think. Oh, and the Europe ones are never. It's never clear. Of course not. Well, maybe they aren't Northern Europe. I always confuse the Netherlands, even though I love their soccer team. Okay. So, yeah. They fall. This is not really a helpful map. Okay, I'm going to say Western Europe. Okay. And then it's an external actor, and the asset was a web app. A server web app, just one web app, one API. Cloud. So I would assume Grindr runs on some cloud. Grindr, AWS. Grindr includes Amazon EC2. Is that actually okay? Well, this is interesting. Siftery. Is this a site for tracking what tech stack companies use? That'd be interesting. But they're on Amazon. They're certainly cloud-based. So external cloud assets. This is IT. I'm not going to worry too much about the operating system. Not even apply here. Country, unless I want to track down the actual AWS locations. Attribute. Confidentiality. Was data disclosed? Yes. Data total. It's a good question. It's just however many people he kind of went through. And it was personal data. So both location data as well as information about it. This is customers of Grindr. And it was stored unencrypted. Well, we don't know how it was stored. It was transmitted to him, though. But it wasn't captured and transmitted. It was pulled from the store. Data was abused. No, at least not in this case. Partner data, not really. Targeted, it was definitely targeted. The discovery method was external by the actor, or disclosed it. There's no real value chain around it. He just developed his own app for it. Impact, overall rating insignificant. The company didn't do anything about it. Plus, this was a random assignment. Yeah, we'll mark this one validated. That's a really interesting one. We'll capture that. File new. And we'll get another one going here. Hyper target ABM campaigns discover the rights. Partners are high resolution text stack data. Yeah, this will be interesting. Store this for later. Okay. So we can go in. We really don't need this open, but we can go in and close this. And that's about 17 minutes in. We're right on track to get maybe 4 of these done. So what do we got next? Let's go back to my issues. Signee, me. Monroe County DMV tossing personal sensitive into the trash. That sounds about right. Right in line with, the approach. Okay. Following this exclusive report, Majority Leader Brian and blah 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 will request the Office of Public Integrity investigate the county clerk handling of documents containing sensitive information at local DMV branches. Okay, well, where was the actual story? The Republican meeting, let's demand an investigation into how documents treated. Okay, so is this the link to the actual article about what happened? DMV being audited after exclusive report. But where's your actual report? I don't want to know about the audit. I want to know about the report. You keep referring to your report, but you don't have it anywhere. Where's the original report? Okay. Watch it. So an investigative reporter digs around in the DMV dumpsters and finds documents with protective and sensitive information. Okay, the DMV, I came here on the 3rd of this month. Let's assume it's this month, May of 2018, maybe. Says he refuses to give his social. Oh, no, this is the guy that they found. So it had a social security number on it. Learned about the situation where a man got into a conflict at the DMV because they insisted he write his social security number down to renew his license. He refused because he doesn't write his social down. Good for him. When he was at the DMV, he said he saw employees throwing documents in the garbage. So after hours, he came back and went through the dumpster behind the building. See, don't get in arguments with security conscious people. On Thursday, he showed the garbage he collected. The papers included renewal applications with name, address, and socials. Social security numbers, which were blacked out. Well, that's good. Security and visa information of an exchange student. Boat registration stickers and stacks of 10-day car inspection tags. Found police information. Papers found were documents that included make, model, and license numbers of 3 undercover police cars. The sample of the documents, the news went to the clerk. The clerk, noped out of that one pretty quick. Okay, so let's give this one a roll. This is a fun one. And this is here, we'll put these references in here. This one and this one. And then I am certainly going to include the fact that the reason it happened was a person asked not to write his social down and they argue with him about it. Customer frustrated that DMV request key writes his SSN down. Goes dumpster diving after hours and finds sensitive data in the DMV dumpster. Yoink. Okay. Confidence. That's a nice news article about it. We have some dates. This happened in, so this is May 18th. And they talked to him on Thursday, on the 3rd of the month. So the breach was May 3rd. And May 3rd, 2018 puts in the 19 corpus. Compromise took him hours because he had to come back later, go through the dumpster. Exfiltration took him minutes to find stuff in the dumpster. Discovery, he disclosed it to the news, and the news disclosed it on Thursday, which we'll say is days. And containment is unknown at this time. It sounds like they were still working on it, and they were going to do a full review, yada, yada, yada. The victim is some DMV. The Monroe County, I think maybe the Monroe County Clerk's Office. County Clerk's Office, I guess. Monroe County DMV. Which reminds me, I need to go get my car inspected. Okay. And then we need to search for this. We'll go back and search. Monroe County DMV. Okay, so there's probably a lot of Monroe counties. What state are we in? To start off, New York. Monroe County, New York DMV. That seems to work. Number of employees. How many people work at the DMV? That's probably not gonna. We're probably gonna end up putting small in here because the reality is, what are the chances that the DMV has a robust listing of how many people work at this DMV? Okay, small it is. So affected, 1 employee count, small. Industry, this is going to be government licensing. So come down here and I think that there's a licensing, registration, licensing, and inspection of miscellaneous commercial sectors, and this is not commercial licensing. Communications, electric, gas, and regulations, administration of general economic programs, urban planning, housing, conservation, air, water, and soil, waste management, administration, environmental qualities, public health, education, order and safety, parole and probation, legal counsel, corrections, police, courts, justice, other general government support. Other government, executive, legislative, so the actual offices. We'll go with this, and kind of a cop-out choice. Other government support. Put that in industry. This was the U.S. in New York. Okay, and United States. Okay. No other victims, really. I mean, you could count the police department that had their undercover cops cars identified as a secondary victim, which I might do here. At least one, and we'll put Row County Police Department, and police gonna be, and we can now put a industry after it. So we will do that. Remove the space there. Okay, and so what was the action? Action was physical. Snooping, I think, is appropriate. Wouldn't be theft because trash is inherently not yours anymore. Tampering, wiretapping, surveillance, not really. So snooping. In the being the victim public area or victim grounds, I think. So this was used to exfiltrate data. And that reminds me, we forget to put in the attack path on the last one. So we'll do that here in a second as well. Actor was external. Just another person. Actually, customer. In this case. And they were doing it for a grudge or personal. Actually, I'm going to put ideology because he said he wasn't going to write the social on there. And, this is his protest against it. And he was local, as is a physical one. So we can mark him in the US. We could put his name down there, but that seems to not be in the spirit of the format. So total amount, we really don't know the amount of data. But we know that there was, it was all documents, media documents. But we don't know how many he took. Cloud isn't applicable here. Technology isn't applicable here. These are all located again in the United States. So the attribute compromised, this will be the fun one. It's confidentiality. Data was certainly disclosed. And it's both internal information, so like the cop car information, as well as personal information of mostly of customers, I think, as well as as well as partner information. So I don't think you would. I think the police department counts as a partner, I guess. They have some agreement on how to work together. It was location was printed. Was data abused? No, this was to prove a point. Partner data, yes. Partner number 1, or partner data number 3, at least. So we'll close the attributes. Targeted, yes, because he specifically wanted to do it. It was actor disclosed. This is the second actor disclosed one. Discovery notes. We don't need discovery notes for this. Value chain, again, doesn't really apply. This is not kind of a type of thing. Really an insignificant impact. There's going to be an audit and such. Random. And actions were a physical action by an external actor on a media asset led to the compromise of confidentiality. And then we can mark that as validated. So we'll take that. We'll copy it off here. Create a new one for us to fill in. And I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to fill in the path on this one here. Get my phone out of my pocket. This is making noise. And we'll go back here and we'll go to the plus and actor. This one was a misuse action by an external actor on a server, a web app specifically that compromised confidentiality. And we'll save that. So we'll put this back on the first incident we did, the Grindr incident. Okay. And close this one down. This was a fun one. It's just a fun one. I've been getting a lot of really kind of interesting, unique ones recently. They all kind of fall into the same vein, but they all have kind of their own interesting slant. Yeah, data stolen in Sheffield Credit Union Cyberattack. Ooh, that sounds fun. Nice financial attack. Personal data of 15,000 members of a credit union has been stolen in a cyber attack. Sheriff's Credit Union said information including names, addresses, national insurance numbers, and bank details have been accessed. The attack happened in February, but only came to light. So we have a date. And this was February 2018. South Yorkshire Police said it was working with SCU and Action Fraud. The union said the breach may leave members open to attempts to defraud them. In a letter to its members, we are writing all for informing you that it was victim of a cyber incident. Any information about how it happened or what you've done about it? So Synth reviewed and increased its security. That's not helpful. Hackers accessed the data using a so-called brute force attack where they bombarded computer system with passwords, hoping for effective guess. Okay, so I wonder if this is this. So there may not be enough to code here, because it's not clear whether this was a credential stuffing attack against the individual users, or this was, 15,000, that'd be a lot of users for a credential stuffing attack. Or maybe a brute force of a remote system, or a could be use of a brute force of like a remote desktop, or remote access used to get access to a database or something. Worry the loss of the data is going to, do not need to worry. We are warning people this happened, and they not need to worry that the loss of the data is going to mean wholesale fraud. Why? It has happened that they need to be aware of the potential someone could get hold of their information. Advise its members to monitor their bank and credit card reports for unusual activity. I think you should really be concerned about fraud. Like, that's the whole reason to steal that kind of money, this kind of access. We are aware of the incident related to Sheffield Credit Union, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what exactly happened? They just said it was a brute force attack. So maybe there's more details since it's been a while. Sheffield Credit Union. We'll Google it and see if we can find a search about it. Look for the breach. Sheffield Credit Union breach. This was in May. In June, there's another article, which maybe we talk a little bit more about what happened. That'd be kind of cool. T reports happened in February. Okay. Incident reported to fraud. Blah, blah, blah. Yorkshire, no criminals. Been counts. Unauthorized access to your bank account. Unauthorized activity, not access. So it was probably an internal database. Hackers, brute force. Oh, that's not helping. That kind of implies that maybe in June they didn't really know what it was. Incident of the week. Yeah, it's been stolen future dates. Any of this? Any details other than... Okay, so we're going to just end up coding a bunch of action unknown, and I'm not super confident in this. At least they've got the date on when it happened. We know who it happened to, and some details around that, but not a lot here. This is not the most informed breach we've ever seen, which is frustrating. It really frustrates me when companies don't talk about, they disclose they were breached, but they don't talk about even how it happened, to the point where people whose data was breached don't know what was lost. Like, was it that it does? I mean, I assume the passwords were protected or weren't lost because they don't talk about changing your password. But it could have been that they forced password changes on people who infected it. And so it's not really clear what data was lost. I don't know. It frustrates me. Likely brute force used to access and steal customer database from credit union. That's what I think happened here. Confidence, medium, timeline. This happened in February of 2018, which means we need to adjust this to go into the 2019 corpus. And then close this. Compromise. We don't know anything about compromise or exfiltration, how long any of this took. It sounds like discovery happened in May, so we'll say 3 months. notification or containment. I mean, I guess containment probably happen in days, because if it was brute force then it was credential reset. And notification happened, we're going to say, does it say specifically? I mean, it's in May, right? We know, I guess we do know what kind of information is here. So May, we'll say May 8th. 2019 or 2018, May 8th. So close that down. The victim was Sheffield Credit Union. And I wonder how many employees Sheffield Credit Union has. In number of employees. So about us. Okay. Employees. What? History. Passion, power, 92. With only 4 employees, they provide $4 million in loans for outdoor power equipment. Okay, well, how many employees do you have now? That's what I want to know. Would you like to help your employees improve? Sheffield Credit Union. We'll look them up here. Based, okay, see all 6 employees. Can you run a credit union with 6 employees? This may be 1 to 10 employees. I mean, they kind of hinted that. Credit unions are their own mixed code. So we'll put that in here. 1 location in Great Britain. And that is Western Europe. State. I do not know what state Sheffield is in the UK. So let's go look it up. So we need to go and look at Great Britain here. Great Britain is, here we are. 3 nations. Yes, a lot of things. Sheffield, urban area. Okay. So Sheffield one of the I guess I should have clicked Great Britain. I should have clicked 3 counties comprised of 4 countries, 3 counties and 1 province. Countries. No, I want counties or districts maybe. No, that's Northern Ireland. I want 30, 22, 2-tier counties, unitary authorities. Man, okay. What qualifies as a 32 council areas? Maybe that's the best choice. Do council areas have a, nope, they don't have a UN designation. So maybe try the 2-tier counties. Do they have, nope, they don't either. Well, how is it supposed to be broken up? Do I need to look at the specific districts? No. Metropolitan areas. Okay, so what is the 3166 designation for entry county subdivision assignment codes? Just need the subdivision assignment codes for Great Britain. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. I'm going to have to give up on this, aren't I? This is just taking too much time. Okay, so no state. That really closes out the victim information. The action is very much unknown. Well, okay, so we'll code it the way they kind of describe it. They say a brute force. We don't know what it was accessed through. I'm going to put actions other than brute force are unknown, but you know, the brute force would have just got them access. They somehow had to get to the database and exfiltrate it. This, I think, was for infiltration. They may have had to elevate. We don't know if they dropped malware. There's a lot of unknowns in there. And so we're going to code the unknown. The actor was external, very much clearly a financial motive. They are organized. We don't know anything else about them. And then the asset was a database of some kind. It sounds like just one. Given the structure, we really don't know. It very much sounds on-prem, the way they describe it. A kind of accessing a database. But I'm kind of reticent to put it because we really don't know. It's definitely IT, not OT. Probably in the United Kingdom, because you don't want to store your financial information in other countries. And was data breached? Yes, 15,000 records of bank information, as well as personal information. Were they really separate? Or, I mean, bank information, names, addresses, national ID numbers, bank details. A lot of times when personal information is also included, we just include the top level, so bank information. And that may be something we want to mark as a hierarchy in Varus, so I'm going to add an issue for that. Because we've been trying to kind of document actual, like when one enumeration in the same area really leads to another. And if bank or medical or such just kind of inherently includes personal information, we should indicate that, or we should either code it, or we should code it explicitly. It's been something we've done implicitly for a while, but I think it's time to kind of decide the appropriate way to do it. So that's really going to be a coding style as well as an enumeration. This is hierarchy, and what is that? Attribute data variety, where associated with personal information or personal data. And so the issue is going to be that many times when we code bank, medical, etc., data variety, the reality is personal information is also included. We should explicitly document that hierarchy and either explain how to code both together as a coding style, or enforce the hierarchy with within rules.py, which is the grooming script that enriches and all the data. It's very important to run rules.py on your issues. Okay, the data victim is customers, stored data abuse. It's unknown, but we would expect data to be abused. Partner data, no. I mean, we just say yes. They stole a database of financial data. The reason you steal that is to abuse it. Data abuse is mainly to capture things like where it's clear that the data was not abused. So it was a researcher, someone that, yes, they breached the data, but no, they didn't go do anything malicious with it. Targeted, probably if it was a brute force, they wanted this specific organization. Discovery method only came to light after hackers threatened to publish the data unless a ransom was paid. Okay, so that was abused. Actor disclosure, say ask for ransom. Value chain it's unclear what the value chain is because there's so little action data. Impact insignificant. There's not a lot of detail about the impact. Plus This was a random assignment. The event chain was hacking a brute force action by an external actor on a server, led to a breach of confidentiality because they know the credentials. But then I'm going to code a big unknown in here. Unknown actions by the external actor on unknown assets led to compromise of eventually the confidentiality. I must say unknown. I'm going to add another unknown for, because we don't know what happened kind of in the middle of this breach. And unknown actions by external actors known led to the breach of confidentiality. And the reason to code unknowns is a lot of times try to filter out where an unknown is in the attack chain, because you don't know how it affects the attack chain. So we'll get this. We'll put it here and turn file new. And do we have time for one more? We can do one quick one. I'd like to get 4 in if possible. So we'll close this one and go back and we'll see what's the last one we have here. Skimming devices found in Collinsville, Scott Credit Union. Okay, well, let's search for Scott. I want to make sure I haven't done this one yet. That's not useful. But I'm not seeing Scott Credit Union here, which would be kind of the giveaway. So we'll go back to that and we'll take that one. That'll be the last one we do for today. Well, here. I want to open a separate one. See, I swear I have seen this one, unless this is like the same stock photo. But maybe not. Okay. No, thanks. This should be a pretty straightforward one. Let's see, this happened. They found this in April of 2018, so it's going to go into 2019. Let's see. Put here, incident, confirmed, and let's see. Reference over here. Summary, skimmers found on ATMs. Okay. And so, and this one has monitoring. A lot of times they don't have the monitoring, but the monitoring helps for capturing the zip code being put into the PIN code. So confidence, there's not a lot of detail here. In fact, I may want to mark this low. Timeline, we really don't know when this happened, so we'll mark, but we know 2018. Mark it April. Okay. At risk at about an hour starting at 7:15. I mean, they know exactly when they think, so the machine was put at risk for about an hour. Wow. Okay. So that's good to know. They discovered it within the hour. April 21st. I'm going to put the time in there. 7:00 a.m. And the format is important because we try to parse this field for formatting. Okay. Compromise probably took seconds, Exfiltration. I don't think that they exfiltrate anything. Well, I guess they say some of the people are at risk. Discovery was minutes because it's, we'll say maybe 60 minutes. And then containment happened, it sounds like minutes later. Or even seconds later. And notification was happening, it's happening April 23rd. So 2 days later. 2018, April 23rd. Okay. So the victim here is Scott Credit Union. We'll go figure out if we know anything about Scott Credit Union. Come back. see. Creators, jobs postings, human race. Okay. We'll look at their LinkedIn profile. See if there's any information about how many people they're employing. A couple hundred. So they can give us a nice range of 100 to 1,000, we'll say. Industry, again, they're going to be another credit union. Credit union. And the second one for today. Locations affected, one in, good question, in Illinois, so United States, region North America, state USIL, no real secondary victims, action, physical, tampering, and then also surveillance because they had the video monitor, or the monitor. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, actually, surveillance and skimmer. Here, come on, there we go. This is public, or not public, victim grounds. This is exfiltrate data. And the actor, external, organized crime, because you have a specifically built skimmer that fits a specific thing. And for financial, well, so we don't know where they're from. A lot of times they're external that come into the country, do that kind of thing, and then leave. Variety. Oh, this will be terminal. ATM. Amount. It sounds like one, right? Okay, customer found, not named. Put the skimming devices. Police said the suspects who were not named because of their ages. Oh, they arrested 2 juveniles. Okay. Wow. Interesting. I must not have been very good at this. Maybe these weren't like the professional guys. Customers' information had been compromised. Skimmers are used away. Okay. Not a lot of details. So we'll just... It says it keeps using plural, but it doesn't say how many. So we'll say terminal. Cloud is not applicable in this context. This is... I mean, really, IT technology. This is not OT in the sense that people would expect it to be. And the equipment was in the United States. The asset compromise was confidentiality. Sounds like it. Of payment data. We don't know the amount. It's going to be customers. And this is capture during processing for skimmers. Targeted. Opportunistic, they probably didn't care what bank they were going. The discovery method, it sounds like it was internal just for the speed, but it's not clear how. Let's see, value chain, attribute, what else do we have to do? Impact, insignificant, plus, so random assignment. Actions were a physical action by an external actor on a terminal, compromise confidentiality. And, excuse me, before I finish, I mean, there is a value chain here. There was development of a physical skimmer. I want to put to consider adding physical development to value chain development, because we have times where there's kind of physical development and physical targeting. So we'll add a new issue for into Varus for add physical enumerations to value chain. And the reasoning behind it is several value chains such as development and targeting sometimes include physical enumeration, physical varieties, such as developing skimmers. Yet no physical options exist in the varieties. So we'll add a issue for that. And make sure this is marked other. Non-distribution services we don't know about. Targeting. Organizational information, not really. Put other physical ATM type is really the information they needed for targeting. Distribution, physically distributed, cash out. We would expect sell stolen goods. You've seen the credit card. And then money laundering we would expect, but we don't know. We don't know the details. So we've got all that, and with that we can validate it, save it. Oh, we missed something. Actor external motive, and see time did not validate. Nice. So the question is, did I mistype the validation, or because this is the first time we've used that field from a time perspective. But let's get motive, actor motive, actor external motive financial, and then we can see about validating the incident time. So it's supposed to be 000700 AM. Oh, that's probably should be 0725 AM. So let's see, does that validate? That validates. Yay. See, and that's why we have validation. So, okay. Thank you all for being here. I am right at time. We got 4 breaches done. I appreciate you come by, and have a happy Halloween. Goodbye.